Hello, hello. Good morning, y'all. Can you see and hear us? We got a few people in here. Let's scoot me over. All right, there we go. See, we got that right. Well, good morning, y'all. Welcome to our Sunday morning talk. Usually garden tea and garden talk, right? So I got some bean tea this morning. You don't have tea. Sorry.
Bean tea.
Verna's saying, hey, Farmer Casey. Hey, Buster. Hey, Willie. Good to see you guys. Mr. Landfill's in here.
Isn't it technically more
Morning,
like
Verna.
bean extract?
Would it be a bean extract?
No, I guess it would be more of a tea.
Okay, it's cold. 15 degrees in Oklahoma there. Yeesh. And what is it? It's like 22 here. So yeah. You're a little bit warmer than us. Or a little bit colder than us.
No, it's a little bit better. It's like 10 degrees warmer most of the time. But
cheers there, Willie. Verna's dropping her thing to get the weather. So good morning, y'all.
No, I was just like...
Maybe our Nightbot's not working, huh? I guess our Nightbot's not working. Let me see if I can pull it up.
So, what we have today...
What are we doing today? Oh, yeah, it's not logged in, maybe? Oh, now we are, I think.
Okay. So, today we are going to be making soil.
We're going to be making soil today. We are, yeah. So, we'll spend a couple minutes. Hey, we got Nikki in here. We'll spend a couple minutes chatting, and then we'll get over to our soil, right? Yep. Let's see here. So, I know Mr. Landfill got cold smoke salt 4-pack. So awesome. Good. We sent all those out. We have a few more here I can send out that went into our shop. But I hope you guys enjoy those smoked salts. I think they're awesome and pretty unique. Good tasting.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
And hopefully you like that, Mr. Landfill. And I did throw that oak one in there for you, too.
I guess in like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, it's like negative numbers in Celsius.
In Celsius, yeah. It's like -4. Oh, it tells here. Let's see.
Oh.
So weather for bellflower. So this is over at Short Pickens. Conditions are partly cloudy, temperature of 10, -12 Celsius, yeah. The wind is blowing 16, oh, yuck, and 59% humidity. Jeez. I need to order some mat. Did you put it in? We have 3 more of them in, and then I need to make more, but we have 3 more packs if you're wanting to grab some smoked salts. We do have those. We still have some other teas. We're kind of low on herbs and things as far as the tea. So we still have a few we can make, but it's mostly going to be candles, soaps, things like that until we get some more stuff going.
We're running out of resources. I mean, it is like
it's a good problem.
It is the end of the winter, so it is getting close to the end of the winter. So.
And salts, we'll put more salts in.
I'd be surprised if we lasted like all the way to the end of the winter, because that's just a lot of stuff to go through.
Some good stuff, yep.
From the summer all the way.
So we're going to start ramping up our garden talks pretty much, right? So it is, we are here in the high desert in New Mexico, and so we're zone 7A, 7B. We're also on the high mesa, so we have some other things there. We have a 180-day growing season, but a lot of that is extremely hot or not, just for various reasons, not good weather for growing certain things.
So either hot, cold, or really windy.
Kind of with everyone's got their own climates, microclimates and conditions, things they need to look out for. So just growing from year to year is a good way to do that. Supposed to drop to the teens tomorrow. Glad you got the propane. Yeah, it is here too. It's supposed to drop down to 10, I believe, tonight. So our silkies, we moved them into the quail shack. We're still not done with the silky coop. I was actually supposed to release the silky coop's nesting box build video, and I have most of that done, but the goal this week was to finish up a little bit on the build, to work on that, and then to release that video. And weather, we had some snow and some weather and things just didn't allow me to do that. So I was like, well, I can do part 1, part 2. I decided not to do that because a lot of times people can't find the other one or it doesn't get done. So I'm just going to release that when it's finished. But we do still have our herbal corner video coming out. So anyways, rabbit trailing. We're going to be doing a lot in the gardening. We're going to be starting off with seed starts inside as well as some outside, prepping garden beds, starting our pots, right, for our herbs and things so we can ramp up our teas and stuff like that. But all that's got to begin somewhere. And we do a lot of seed planting, seed starts from seed inside, right? And so we're going to need a good seed start soil. And when you go to the store and you look at seed start soil bags, if you get the cheap stuff, just the, who knows what's really in it stuff, that can be like $8-10 for a little tiny bag. Or if you get the all natural, the organic, which is supposed to be better, although I've gotten some bags that have like plastic and things in there, but it's supposed to be better. It could be like $10-12 a bag for just a little bag, right? So we're going to make our own today. This is extremely beneficial if you have a lot of seed starts you're going to do. It's also good for indoor plants and things like that. We're going to be making a compressed 2.2 cubic feet seed starter mix. Actually, a little bit more than that. So I think altogether it said something like 168 liters. I could be wrong. But for what we spent about $50 on, and if you're watching this, obviously you're watching this in the live or replay, I'm gonna re-release just a video of making the seed starts, and in that I'll do the breakdown of price because it's kind of interesting. And I will stop in today's stream and mention something. I do it in every year when I make our seed soil. I kind of like to on the price, but so we're gonna talk about that. So you're gonna get a ton. I don't think I've ever used all of what it can make really just for seed starts. I end up throwing a bunch in the garden. So do it a lot cheaper. It's going to be all organic, so a lot better for the plant. We know exactly what's going in there, so it's going to get a better mix. And then also, what's one of the big, huge problems? Sometimes we didn't have it last year, but you get with having the plants inside.
With the plants inside.
Sometimes you get all these little.
Oh yes, there is like lots of flies and mosquitoes.
Lots of little gnats and flies and things. Yeah. So in the seed starter soil, whether you're making your own or you're buying it, a lot of times
little gnat eggs.
You can have gnat eggs and stuff in that soil or little bug eggs. And so we actually got a cool way, which we'll show, but we got a cool way that we completely sterilize it and kill all that off. And so we have no gnat problems with our indoor plants, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think one year we got like a whole bunch of them.
Awesome, Verna. Thank you very much. Verna just picked up some salt.
Because we didn't know, right? That one time didn't we get like a whole
Well, we just used the indoor seed starter mix like people do. And put it, in our plants and watered it and all that. And before you know it, there's just gnats everywhere. And our indoor plants are, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have that problem.
Like there's a whole bunch in one, like there's like a couple in the whole house. There's a whole bunch in this room. And then it's a tiny little container where we kept some of the soil. It was just a box of gnats.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
So it definitely can do that. So we are going to hop over. Today we're going to be showing how we do our seed start soil. So we're just going to show it on a small scale, and then I'm going to end up making a bunch of it and prep it to be sterilized. So you can make it ahead of time and let it sit and then just sterilize it, rehydrate it when you're ready.
I want to grow a couple of my own plants, probably some of the stuff that we already grow, but
yeah,
just kind of like how
have you decided which ones you're going to do yet besides the herbs and things?
I haven't decided quite yet. I want to do like a couple like different types of like leaves so I can spoil my birds.
Oh, so you want to grow plants for the button coil.
And then also maybe a couple just for me to mess with.
Yeah. So you really like the beet tops. Is it beet? The beet tops, you like those a lot, I think. You like the greens though, the lettuces and things you can go snack on, walk through.
I want to see one of my little button coil eat one of the hibiscus flowers.
We'll have to look and make sure they're good for them, but yeah.
If they do, I just want to take off the little.
We're gonna make our soil today. Let's see, it's about mid-February is really when we start our seeds. We'll start a few probably the first week there in February, some loofahs, things like that take a lot longer. You can see here I got the other screen up. So these wire racks work great for us. Here, our greenhouse is still freezing solid every night. It stays warmer than the outside, but it's still freezing. So greenhouse in the area we're in right now, at least my greenhouse, is in a really viable area to do their seed start. So they need to start inside. With starting a couple years back and doing this, we didn't have a significant enough light on them and close enough. And so they got real tall and real lanky, right? And they were really hard to transplant. And a lot of them died. We lost a lot of for that. So over the last few years, we've been building up our little setup, and this is what I think works best for us, at least, is these rolling shelf, rolling racks.
Yeah.
We can roll them in front of the window here behind us. Outside would be a little difficult because we're a step down, but Verna's, I knew it. She said, don't forget to start sweet potato slips. Matt Casey can eat the greens and give them to quail and chickens. The sweet potatoes, we love them. Is now the time to start? If so, I need to do that. That's something I'm not successful at, starting the slips. I think we bought them last year. Let's write this down.
And put one of my little birds inside of it. Take like a little photo shoot and go inside of it.
So, yeah, it would. One thing with gardening is you're always learning, with life really, but and figuring out how to grow what and when and where, and you can do the best, and sometimes nature and things can throw you off still. But definitely with part of my organization and all, figuring out what needs to go in the ground when is something I leave up to the spicy mom quite a bit.
Yeah. So we're gonna start making soil.
Verna says she is going to be on a live starting them Wednesday night. I will try and be there. I'll be at work, but I'll try and be there.
I'll definitely watch it.
Oh, and then Willie, yeah, he loves the sweet potatoes. Give him a bucket full yesterday. Friend sells them, $300 for a ton. Oh wow, interesting. They got about 7 people in here, so that's cool. We are going to go ahead and we're going to hop on over to the other side, and we're going to make some of our seed starter. We're just going to make a small little batch. This can easily be scaled. You just times by 2, 3, 4, whatever you want to do.
Or 5 quadrillion.
I have to rewatch it next time. So this is a video I do every year. I've done the last few years at least. And I'm going to, I guess before we'll hop over there, I'll mention my little thing that I like to say in this video. This is one when this is the video I get to complain about inflation a little bit, because it's one I really noticed. So every year I buy that big bag of peat moss over there. For seed starts and for garden and for all that. When I first did my video, it was, I believe, $11.99 for that bag. And then I did it, and it went up to, I think, 13 something. Last year when I did it, I went and rewatched, and I was complaining that it was up to $18.99. Now, when I bought this bag this year, I hadn't remembered what last year's was. I was walking through the store, and I recorded it. You'll see if you watch the actual video of this, but talking about, and I was kind of excited. I said, ooh, $19.99. It didn't go up, I don't think. I said, well, that's awesome. And, inflation's not going crazy. And that right there, my friends, is what you call normalcy bias. So that when things keep raising up so much, like boiling that frog, over a while, it becomes kind of normal. Oh, it hadn't gone up. And so it actually did. It went up $1. So inflation wasn't quite as crazy this year, but it still went up. And so, whereas last year the entire setup for the seed starter mix cost about $40, this year it did go up to about $50. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah, kind of funny. So now people, kind of funny how people are like, oh wow, now it's only $1 higher.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna switch camera and we're gonna hop over, and we won't be able to see the chat too much. I might be able to turn this. We'll see. But we're going to talk a lot, and then we'll get back to chat. Okay. Hop over there. You can plug that camera. No? Go and plug the hard drive. All right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. We may just have to push all kinds of things. We may just have to go. Yeah, I'm not able to. That's okay. That's a lot of people. So let me do this first. I'm going to turn this around. Can you hear Casey? Please don't. Well, everyone's ears out. Go stand over there and say something. We'll see if they can hear you. Coconut orange instead of peat moss. Yep. I'll mention that too. And that's good news as well. Willie's reminding everyone hit the like. Yeah, please do. That helps out a lot if you're here. HP. What's HP Pro Mix? I don't know what that is. All right, let me hop over. I don't think you can go look on the screen if you can see my.
I can see your head. Your hair's looking a little bit though.
Okay, you guys can. I'll turn it up. I'll move it up just a little bit. And we're gonna hop right into this. So there are different things you can use besides peat moss. That's one I use. I haven't experimented with other things yet, but I'll talk about some things.
Like how
Yeah. So this is a 5-ingredient seed starter mix. We are going to use peat moss. You can also use a cocoa fiber or something else like that. Peat moss works great for me, I think, so that's what I've been using. We may experiment with something later. You want to open that tarp up real quick? We are making this inside. I do suggest you normally do it outside, but we'll put the tarp down.
But for the screen.
Yeah. Let me move this big old bag of peat moss. Oh, I know what I got when I got pipes back there. Uh-oh, I'm taking down my thing. Oh, well, we lost the background. Oh well. Okay, I was just afraid it was going to reflect too much. Being filthy, that's fine. We'll stop messing with that. I did want to show the racks though real quick. I like using these because you can move the shelves up and down. I do that usually several times, or just have a second or third rack as well, where they're a little further apart. So I can move the lights up and down some, but then I also need more room, so I can do that as they get larger. You're gonna need different size pots and things like that. All right. This is a big tarp. I should have put this one first. The tarp, baby. Okay. Hey, let's go. We're gonna put our tarp down. There we go. And our table. You want to grab the bucket? All right, we got a bucket. Do you need a container or something to start it in? Oh, I'm also gonna need a knife. Could you go? It makes a lot of noise. Would you grab me a knife? No, thank you. Oh, sharp one. So go on out of here. There we go. Mylar instead of black. Yeah, so the black cloth. Solo out of here, bud. The black cloth I had just for video. So this isn't how I have the plants set up to be growing them. This is just for the video shoot or for the live stream, really. So the black cloth was just so you don't get the glare off the wall and all. That's all that was for. What I actually do is I will, Mylar is great, and I didn't think of using that, but that is awesome. I think it was Willie suggested that, and I'll probably take that up this year. That is an excellent idea. So Mylar is a reflective fabric or reflective plastic, I don't know, cloth. Out, go on. And it will reflect all the light back, and so that's really going to add to not having as many lights. So good tip there. I'll be doing that. What I normally do, and I'll do this on the outside of the Mylar probably, is add I buy the shower curtains because they're thicker, the clear plastic ones, and I'll wrap the 3 sides around just to help it from cold and keep that temperature and all in there. And you could drape one in front if you need it. Good tip though. I'm glad you said that. Okay. So while doing this, I don't have exact measurements. It's not going to be extremely precise. It's going to be done in parts. And so I wanted to pick a container that was, stand over here so we're not right in front of it. Thank you. I want to pick a container that is kind of close to a quart. I think that's about half quart. Anywho, it was, and then you're going to want a tablespoon measure. I couldn't grab the things. Our kitchen was kind of a lot going on in there right now. So I'm just going to use these and we're going to kind of measure it.
For using their measuring tape.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to use peat moss. And this is going to be the base of our seed starter mix. Yeah. And so without try not to make too much mess, we're going to do 3 parts of peat moss.
So much, man.
Yep. So our mixture is going to call for 3 parts. So whichever container we're using, because of the fertilizer and all, I like to get close to a quart-sized container or half. We're going to do this one here. All right, Casey. So we need to get 3 of these, and you're standing right in front of the camera, though. So let's stand over on this side. I know it's kind of hard to do when we're trying to do things and think of the camera here. But we don't need to cut that anymore. We can set it here, and we're going to get 3 of them. We'll try not to drop some, but we probably will. Yeah, we're dropping lots. Hey, look, is that a worm? No.
The worms being here?
Well, probably not. Hopefully not. All right, and we want to get it kind of even, not piled. So we're going to do 1, 2. Glad we put that part down. And 1 more.
Yeah.
Okay. Try not to do that all over. We'll do that in a bucket. That way we don't get peat moss everywhere. All right, cool. We got our 3 parts peat moss. Okay, so don't do that. We don't want to eat that. That's not edible. All right. Next, we're going to use perlite. Perlite is really good for keeping the soil loose, kind of. It helps to aerate it and break it up a little, so it's not going to compact there. It also is going to add some minerals and things like that. So we're going to do perlite, and this you want a half part. So grab that same container that we were using for our peat moss, and we're going to do half of it.
Are you going to grab it?
I'll scoop it out, and we're going to do about half. That's about half. So just dump that on top there. In addition to the perlite, we're going to use vermiculite. The vermiculite is going to hold moisture. It's going to help the soil to retain some moisture. One of the big problems with seed starts is if they do dry out, they're very fragile. They don't have a lot to them yet, so they'll die. They'll wither and die. So we want to make sure it stays moist. This also helps break up the soil a little bit so it's not really compact, and then add some minerals and things like that as well, too. We're going to do a half portion of vermiculite as well.
A very nice people.
Yes. All right. Where's our container?
Container? How much?
Okay, let me get you a half, and then I'll let you dump it. So it's a half perlite and a half portion vermiculite. I'm going to set this down here. So I'm doing it that fall. Okay, we get that? All right. Now this is something I'm going to add. All right, let's stop stirring for a sec, just because Daddy's brain rabbit trails too much. Okay, so we're going to be adding some garden lime. This is going to add calcium and minerals and things to it, specifically for the peat moss, though. So using the peat moss can lower the pH in your soil quite a bit, and that can actually burn those little roots of the brand new seedlings with just the peat moss. I'm not sure how cocoa fiber or those others do. I believe they're a little bit less intense at the pH. So before I do this real quick, this is something we picked up this year. This measures your moisture levels, your pH levels, all that of the soil. This is something I've been doing just kind of by feel. Feeling how the moisture is. I've been using little litho strips to check the pH, which is a pain in the butt. Casey, please stop doing that. Thank you. It's not edible, okay? Don't put it in your mouth or I'm going to ask you to leave. Thank you. I lost my concentration.
You're talking about using different methods?
Yep. So I've been using pH meter is a great thing you could pick up. This is something we'll use a lot when I'm doing additives to the soil and stuff, because some of them need a certain pH level. But this is, I'm going to use it to check my seed start mix. Your seed start mix you want kind of at a neutral or base, like a 6 to 7 is a good range for your pH. Okay. So with that said, the peat moss can lower the pH too much. So we are going to add about a tablespoon of garden lime. That's going to raise the pH of it up a little bit, as well as add those nutrients. I don't have the tablespoon, so we are going to just do this. Let me grab it for you. And we don't want this whole thing, so that's too much. We just want about a tablespoon. We'll dump that in. All right. And we got one more ingredient, but I'm going to come over here and see if we can take a look at the comments. Cocoa doesn't hold nutrients. Oh, okay. Yeah, and vermiculite. We got quite a few comments we'll check out. Actually, quite a few good comments. We'll get to that. You guys stirred up good? All right. So the last-ish thing we're going to add is we want a little bit of fertilizer. This is something actually last year Verna suggested instead of using this to use rabbit poop because it's a cold fertilizer and you can add a little bit of it, which is great. We didn't end up getting rabbits, not yet at least. So we're still on our fertilizer. I like the Dr. Earth. It's an all-natural organic. I think it works really good. Now, seeds in there, you need a pet rabbit. Seeds, they come in that little shell packed with a lot of nutrients. They have a lot in there that they need to get them going, to at least start them, right? But they're going to need a little bit of help along the way. So their seed mix needs a little bit as well. You don't want anything really strong, again, that's going to burn the plants. And we don't, this is kind of an overall seed start mix. So it's going to be for a large variety of plants. So when I pick this, I want to pick something that's a pretty basic fertilizer. This is a 2-2-2. So that is going to be the different compounds in there are going to be pretty even. So we're going to use a little bit of this and just a little bit. So your garden lime and your fertilizer are going to go a really long way. This is something I normally only need to buy like every couple of years, really, if you're using it just for the seed start mix. So we need the little cup. This is going to be the same as the garden lime to each 3 parts, to each 3 parts peat moss, half part vermiculite, half part perlite, 1 tablespoon of garden lime, and 1 tablespoon, yep, that's probably good, of a good like 2-2-2 fertilizer. Dump that in there. It smells kind of like oregano, huh?
It smells like oregano. I don't know if it kind of smells like matcha or what.
Maybe. I think it kind of looks like matcha. Simple fertilizer. One of the things when I first started gardening was I wasn't adding fertilizer throughout the process as much until they got planted, and that was a mistake. So we do a few. Not get crazy. We do a few other fertilizings, and I'll talk about those as we go before they go outside. But this is going to be for starting the season. All right. So you can see here we got our mix. If I'm just doing the smaller, I'm just doing 3 parts, and if you wanted, obviously do 6 parts and then 2. That makes sense. And so I got it here. And this you can store just like this. We're not going to use that. This we can store just like this. We can fill up this bucket, cap it off. I'll sit for a little bit if you want. Maybe make it in the, in fall or winter ready. But this here probably still has some pest eggs. So we haven't gotten rid of that yet. We talked about how to make it in bulk, cheaply if you're making bulk, right? It's going to be, one sec though, they'll say it. It's a better nutrient. It's a better blend. We know what's going in here. Now we need to get rid of the pests. So I got to go do something real quick. Why don't you go look at some comments and hop over there, and I'll be right back. Okay, before we finish our last step, we're going to switch over to comments because I got to let that go for just a sec. You want to move to the other chair? And we'll turn the camera around. If I stop. I hope people can. There we go. Did everyone hear us that whole time? Through the mic? Hopefully. I was on the phone mic and I flipped this mic around to use this one, but I realized I took this screen off, so that mic wasn't going. So it was on the camera mic again. So when I did this video last year, the sound was horrible. You could only hear like half of it, and it was on my phone, like I was just doing. You heard, Mr. Lentil says. Okay. Hopefully it's not horrible, but because of that is why I decided we're going to do this in the live and have fun. And then I'm actually going to make, probably tonight when I get home from work, make a video of it and release that too, so I can do better quality sound and all that. But okay, So let's go ahead and take a look. We'll go back up here. So we're talking about mylar. Oh, okay, here we go. Mainly use grow tent like you used for the devil's lettuce, and mylar lined. I have exhaust and intake. Oh wow, 1,000-watt quantum boards. You got a good setup. That's a good way to do it. Electric bill went up $30 a month. Ooh, and use full time. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
Do you think that's a good price to pay?
Willie does a lot. He's really on it about getting things done. Man, I've been looking at his posts lately, and he's got all his animals he's been putting out there. It seems like every time I look, he's got either a new animal or a new little structure for them or something.
Every time you look away and then you look back, it's just something new.
Oh, lately, okay, so I gotta laugh. So, Willie, is it Cooney pigs that you have? I'll wait for him to answer, and then I'll say what we've been laughing at. Loves vermiculite. Yeah, vermiculite and the perlite mixture together is great for all your plants, really, but especially for those little seed starts. Also, if you're doing ones that need to retain a little moisture there, you have the vermiculite. Cocoa doesn't hold the nutrients. Dr. Earth is great stuff. It is. It's slower release. Takes 2 weeks to break down. Okay, cool. No worm casting. So the worm casting is actually, that is good in a seed start, but I don't want to give it too much nutrient right away because I don't want to burn out the roots. So fish emulsion and worm castings, or possibly like a worm tea, are going to be what we're going to be using to fertilize our indoor plants, which just can't think, but this year. And so that's what we'll be doing. Yes, we heard. Oh, okay. You're talking about, yeah, cool. American guinea hog and coonies, some of also pigs and Dora pigs. Oh, okay. So we've been laughing because I heard the cooney pig, and so Solo, our puppy, he's plus size. He's gotten very large.
He's over fun size.
And so we call him cooney Solo now. So we've been laughing because I don't think he likes it when we call him that because he knows that we're making fun of him.
Yeah. I call him a loaf because he's
I'm gonna go check.
He's golden brown, just like a loaf.
Not done yet. We are waiting on our final step to our mix, and that is going to be the pest control step. And so we're just waiting on that to finish up, and then we'll hop over and do that. So let's see. I think so. So we are going to be doing the outdoor garden soil video, but we're probably going to be doing that in a couple weeks. It is way too cold out there right now.
We do need rabbits.
We do need rabbits, yeah.
We're gonna have one house rabbit.
Well, the rabbit compost, you don't have to let it sit like you do the bird. So we do a lot of, obviously we compost for the quail and chicken droppings. And those are our real high nitrogen-rich soil. So that's used for corn and things like that. The ones that like to suck the nitrogen out. And, oh, Willie's saying he's going to get some rabbits too. That's our problem. You got to build the hutch. So I have in the past just gotten the animals and things, and then I got to rush and freak out and build a cage and all that. I just said I will not do rabbits until I build the cage.
We just have like one rabbit. We just have one singular rabbit.
One rabbit?
No,
well,
2 rabbits, because then we have infinite rabbits if we have 2 rabbits.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Hopefully you guys are all staying warm. I know that we're really getting, the country's getting down some. Probably. It looks like some of those really northern states up there, kind of up near Mr. Landfill, were really, really cold. I know, like South Dakota and all that.
I wonder how cold Canada is.
You need 2 does and 1 buck for the same. Yeah, that's what we want. That's okay.
I wonder how cold Canada is.
You love the lemongrass? Good. So lemongrass was something that when we first started doing YouTube and Verna was on, and she asked, "Hey, do you have lemongrass?" And we tried to start it, but I didn't really think much of it. We had a little thing going, but and then we really got that going, and then we use lemongrass. Everything. I love the smell too when you're cutting it. It's great. Hey, Bob's here.
It smells like a lemon head.
Morning, Bob. 9 degrees where Bob's at over there. Sheesh.
1%.
Mix a little mullein in it to help clear your lungs out. Mullein is awesome, especially for respiratory stuff. So that we are going to get our mullein going this year. I have my seeds sitting right over there. I'll show you in just a minute. My wife says I have mullein growing out there. I say we don't. I don't know. We'll see. But mullein is excellent for respiratory stuff. Hey, anyone that has grown mullein, I guess this is my question. So mullein shoots out the big stalk with the yellow flowers on top, kind of. Does it do that the first year, or does it take a couple years? All right, I'm going to check our thing.
The killing the pest parts is my favorite.
All right, the next step should be about ready. And I'm going to flip this around. And let's see if we can get better sound.
You can still hear us when you remove it, Dad.
Well, I'm going to try this. I want to see this. All right, let's go hop over here. We're going to recap real quick, and then we're going to do the final thing. So, to this mix, you can scale it any way you like, depending on how much seed start mix you need. The portions are 3 parts peat moss to 1/2 part perlite, 1/2 part vermiculite, 1 tablespoon of 222 garden fertilizer, and then 1 tablespoon of garden lime. So that's what we got going here. I'll put the recipe in the description. We'll also put it in the standalone video that will be coming out here. The next thing and last thing we really need to do is we need to do our pest control on this. We need to sterilize it. So you stand right here with this and be really careful, and I'm going to come in with our final step.
This is my favorite step.
All right, so we are going to get rid of any little gnat eggs or bug eggs or anything that's going to be in here, so that way we don't have any indoor problems. And what we're going to do is sterilize our mix. So you need to rehydrate your seed start mix anyways with water before you go. We're going to do it with boiling water. And by doing that, very carefully, by doing that, we'll kill off any of those little eggs. So this is our pest-free part of our mix. And it takes quite a bit of water. Go ahead and start mixing that. That might be enough. Yeah.
You know, it smells so good, but it just smells so weird. I don't know why I kind of like the smell.
So this is really good for your indoor plants as well. The boiling water you can do outside if you're looking to sterilize your soil as well. However, you don't want to pour the water directly on plants, obviously. This is just for the soil before the plants are planted. We let it cool down. And then if you are doing it outside or places like that, you want to be careful. So one of the things I look for in my soil is you want those beneficial bugs and nematodes and things like that, bacteria, mycelium, and all in your soil. So if you're pouring boiling water on it, you're going to end up killing off a lot of that. There are some things you can do to get rid of bad bacteria or problems you're having in your soil. And actually, Bob had posted this on Facebook, not this, but something kind of like it on Facebook. So I thought that was cool. If you mentioned it, is hydrogen peroxide. And now it's the specific article he was posting was using it instead of bleach and other things like that. But there are so many uses for hydrogen peroxide. In the past, I had done it for my seed start mix. But I find the boiling water works a lot better. It does sterilize it though. So hydrogen peroxide I'll use outside a little bit. And we'll talk about that when we get there. Let's see. So we got all this nice steamy. It's going to rehydrate our soil. It's going to kill anything going in there. And we'll let this cool down. And then it's ready to pack into our little cubes and pots and start planting our seeds once that goes. Thank you very much for helping me, Mr. Casey. Should we go back and talk with chat a little bit? Okay.
It's not finished.
It's not finished.
We need a little garnish.
Oh, I was going to show.
Right, so, Mr. Bo.
My mullein. Willie had mentioned it. I'm going to get it going this year. All right, let's sit down. We'll chat for a few more. There we go.
Okay, so if you have any questions or just anything you want to say,
any questions,
come in chat.
Mullein grows wild in a lot of places. Yeah, near the river, so it needs a little more water. I think it doesn't go out here.
Yeah.
Or out where I'm at least.
I need to grow some in a pot so I can have it nice and clean.
Fish float to the surface. Oh. So yeah, okay. This is something that is illegal and you're not supposed to do. So here is my disclosure. Don't do what I'm saying. Disclaimer. This is just for educational purposes only.
Disclaimer.
And this is a prepper tip if you have to.
Disclaimer.
Maybe. So yeah, one of the things mullein is good for is it's actually, you can take the seeds and you can crush them up in like a mojete, and it's a neurotoxin for fish. And so if you throw that into a pond or lake, those fish will die or get messed up and float up to the top, and you collect them and you eat them. Why you wouldn't want to do that and why it's illegal though,
so much.
Is you will wreak havoc on the biosystem in that lake. You will you're going to destroy the life in that lake. So don't do that. If you had to, that's something you could probably do, but yeah.
Don't do it in like...
Oh, okay. We have mullein all over, Bob's saying. So it is in New Mexico, I guess. Just either not in the area I'm at, or we haven't identified it. So something we've been wanting to do for a few years, and we've done, it's just been very slow, but is really to get out and do our natural, or our local plants, right? Mm-hmm. Things here. So I haven't come across mullein. I don't know. Bob says it's all over.
I wonder if it's...
That's what we're going to do.
I wonder if it's near Lake Tingley.
We're definitely doing a lot more pot growing in pot. We're going to do a lot more pot growing this year because of that. So a lot of the herbs and things that we sell, right, we have in pots now, but we want to really be able to control what goes on with those plants better than the other garden that's just for us. Because when we're selling it, we want that to be a higher grade than necessarily what we would have just for ourselves, right? Yeah, so we'll be doing a lot of that. Too early for starts, yeah. So we're not actually starting. New Mexico's funny too, because everyone will plant in March and get everything going outside, and then it freezes the middle of April, about tax day, and everything dies. Yeah, so we aren't actually, I think our first seeds that we will actually start is probably going to be loofah and some of those other things that take a really, really long time. And we're going to start those maybe in 2 weeks.
Like tomatoes?
No, so tomatoes we're not going to start until after Valentine's Day. So that'll be right about that time, right then, for indoor. Some of the outdoor things we're going to start will be the very end of February, and they'll be like echinacea or some of those type of things. And so, yeah. Hey, what's up, Steve? A new fishing trip.
Need some new green socks.
Who's going fishing? As late as June. Yeah. I've never seen it that late where I'm at, but you're at a higher elevation than we are. We're on the mesa.
Sweet potatoes take a long time to grow up, so you can start them now.
So we sit on the high mesa. We're up on a mesa itself, just a tabletop flat of dirt, and I think we sit like 300 or 400 feet up above the Rio Grande River. So there's the river, and then we're up here. And if there was other huge problems, we'd probably slide in.
Yeah, you can actually see.
The Rio Grande River is not impressive here, by the way. It's very small, and it's a little stream, and that creek running through Willie's place is probably more impressive than the Rio Grande River.
The Rio Grande River is that way.
Sweet potatoes. Start now.
It's just right over there. We can drive right over the bridge that goes to Rio Grande. But
we drive over it every day.
Yeah, we go over it every day. It's pretty small where we are.
Yeah. They throttle it a lot. Like, it hits a bunch of dams and things before it gets to us.
It's like that little river. It's less of like a river and more of like a little like ditch, pretty much.
Till. So that's a good thing too. That's a good discussion a lot of people have, whether it's a till, no till. all the different things. We've done both, and I think what we've landed on is doing both. Some areas we don't till, where I know that the mycelium and all that stuff really goes, and so we try and just cut it off. Some areas, if we're going to be planting other things or changing the bed up, or if the soil just looks, we redo it. So the soil here, it dries out, and then we get really heavy winds, and it blows all the nutrients away, and so it turns hydrophobic and not good really quick. And so.
And then also with all like the little.
Yeah, it's a muddy looking creek.
The little bugs just kind of go with it as well.
Yeah. So how's your? This is a question for Bob, I guess. How's your solar system holding up with the clouds and all that? I guess it should be fine with the cold and all. One of the things I run into with ours, not this year. This year we've accomplished, but is the size of your solar system. You need to, at least what I've learned is I need to make it big enough that it can withhold a couple days of really cloudy weather and stuff. I'm not getting a lot of intake. I know with watching some of the people that have their off-grid setups and solar systems, when it's in winter and stuff and it's been real bad for a while, they run out and have to hook up like a generator to it to charge up the batteries and stuff. So we have our solar talk is coming up here February 1st, actually.
Are you
I gotta get on that.
Or we're just gonna get a little wind turbine during that time.
You want to do wind turbine this year, so we want to practice with it. Be a little one, like a kid one, but we want to practice and learn because they can get very expensive.
Yeah, and it's not like you can go on Amazon and then find like a 500 watt one that you can just like plant to your ground.
I don't think we have catfish here. Well, we do in New Mexico. I don't know if they're in the Rio Grande. There's trout. There might be.
I think it's just kind of like every now and then type thing. I don't think like they live there.
They're probably catfish in there.
Yeah, but
solar's going great. Cool. Cool.
Solo's begging.
Come here, Solo. Kuni Solo.
Loaf.
Here's my Kuni Solo.
Loaf.
Hi. You want to say hi to everyone? Or you just can stare at me.
Look at it.
So Solo likes to steal new plant starts. Yeah. He likes to pull them out of the ground. The neighborhood cats like to dig them up. We do a lot. So I guess I was talking about fertilizer a little bit and seed starts. And not in this stream, I wasn't really planning on getting too much into soil amending and fertilizing and stuff. I was going to do that more so as we go throughout the process. We'll talk about that for just a quick second.
There are no types of catfish in the area.
Oh.
I have a grid, cheaper and easier than a generator. Just quick charge.
Yeah, that's perfect. So that's kind of what we want to do too. We figure if you already have a grid, why not use it? So what I would like to do is get to the point, and we're nowhere near, but someday I'd like to get to the point where if we are on grid, we're still on grid, but I use the grid more so as a backup and the solar as a primary. Kind of like you're saying there, Bob. Yeah. So I've never been trying not to shake it too much. I've never been catfish fishing. I know they're good. We haven't had catfish in a long time. We actually don't eat catfish anymore, but it's I know down by like the Elephant Butte here, they have some like 7-foot long man-eating catfish, and I know I've heard stories from diving that the divers won't go down near the dam there because they'll attack you. They're real aggressive, and they're like 6-7 foot. They call them the man-eaters. But if a boat or something crashes over by the dam at the Butte, a lot of times they won't go recover the body because
geez. You know, there's a guy.
Wow. Bob's bill. Oh man, babe, you listening? He's at $21 a month. It was $39. It went up a little bit. Huh?
You know,
oh geez, nothing.
I saw a video of a guy going catfishing. I think it was actually over by here, where you just sang. But he was fishing and he got a whole like roast chicken. He got a whole chicken. He attached it to his rod, like just the whole plain chicken. He threw it out, and then there's a giant catfish that actually just ate a whole chicken.
That's funny, Bob. Oh no, a whole chicken. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. So they wouldn't deliver to you. Oh no. One of the channels I watch is Frugal Off Grid, and John over there is building a cabin and putting together his solar system. And I think he had to pay like a lot of extra to have his panels delivered. Solar systems aren't cheap. They're not. They can get very, very pricey. Bob, is yours a battery backup, or is it just a solar like some of these do? Large gator gars. Ooh, Papa Pepper catches those and eats those. I guess they kind of call them a trash fish, but they've been eating those, and I've always wanted to try. That looks really good.
You know, we used to see a whole bunch.
Have you seen what gator gars look like? They're the cool fish. I'll pull up a picture.
We see the crawdads often, though.
Yeah, they're all over.
Gator.
All right, let's pull up a picture.
Is there like a fish that kind of looks like an alligator?
Yeah, that's it. Watch, I'll show everyone.
Looks kind of weird.
It looks kind of weird.
It's like a failed spearfish.
A failed spearfish? So this is what Papa Pepper's catching out in Arkansas.
It looks like a hammerhead shark.
I don't think he's catching these though. Holy cow.
Jeez, it looks like a hammerhead shark without the hammerhead.
It must be a different kind of gar he's catching. These are crazy. All right.
Jeez. They like get to like a foot, and then they go to like 6 feet.
Yeah.
Like a foot to 6 feet.
Really, really big. So we're approaching our hour. Yep. We got about 8-9 minutes left here. We'll chat, answer any questions or anything like that before we do hop off. Hope you guys enjoyed making some seed start soil. I really hope that helps some people out. This probably isn't beneficial if you're only planting like 3 or 4 plants. Where it really is going to become beneficial and cheap is when you're planting, like 500 or something like that. Bunch of seed starts, or if you just want better seed starters. And if anything, at least take that boil water tip, because you can do that with any soil, not just soil you make, but if you're sterilizing it and you're not worried about it having that biome in there.
Oh.
4 server rack batteries, 5.2 each. Ooh, 5.12. Oh wow. Okay. So the server rack batteries, I think, are those big cartridge ones that slide in. That's neat. I'm using what we'll be hooking up first is just the Power Queen LifePo batteries.
Told me my land was zoned future.
Is zoned HO, is that Ohio maybe?
Must keep structures and minimize.
Oh, yeah. There's so many rules and stuff the government likes to put in.
Alligator gar, like freshwater barracuda. That's what I was thinking of, like a field barracuda. I don't know, they look weird.
Freshwater barracuda. So I've done some scuba diving. I actually got certified. This has been years. I'd have to redo classes, but did a lot of scuba diving and certification, all that. And I did that with my dad. And
we learned a whole bunch of tricks.
Yeah, went diving all over. It was a lot of fun. But one of the scariest things diving is not the sharks and things. It's actually the animals that are curious, like dolphins and barracuda, because they'll attack your tank and they'll attack the shiny parts and the hoses and things and try and rip your stuff apart.
There's a girl wearing like shiny braids. And
yeah, you don't want shiny things diving. Sometimes they'll even go after the mask because they'll catch the shine, and that's what they're going for. So we'll put like tape and wrap and stuff on the shiny parts, on the tank and things, so they're not trying to rip your hoses out. New Mexico and scuba diving, huh? Never would have thought.
Every single time that we go to like a pool, you're always doing like these really cool things in the pool.
I like the pool.
Scuba diving.
I do. All right, let's see. So anyone have anything else going on you want to mention or comments? I don't know if anyone's, hopefully everyone's staying safe and all in the cold. No, we'll probably wrap it up.
Yep.
Long-nosed gar in Michigan.
What is long-nosed gar?
Let's look at it real quick.
You have to show me. Show me the ways. Freshwater gar. Long-nosed gar.
All right, here we go. Okay, so those are probably more like the ones I think that Papa Pepper. I can find out. Not sure which channel it's called. Oh, there it is.
Family.
Okay, yeah, there's the car. Turn this volume. Let's see, where does he pull it out? Oh, there it is. So that looks kind of more like the gar that Mr. Landfill's talking about. That's what they eat. They cut it up into little pieces and make these crispers that look so good.
I love the chocolate.
Yeah, I would too. I guess a lot of people think of it just as a trash fish. At least that's what he says.
I get it. It might be like a trash fish, but it probably still would. I think it would look pretty good. It tastes pretty good. Oh, got a video on a video. Okay, so
there's gar and bowfin in your creek. Wow. Sold scuba gear when you left Texas. I don't know what happened to my scuba gear, to be honest. I must have sold it. It's been 20 years, and that was kind of a crazy time in my life. So someone sold it. I think all I have is my fins and masks left. Gar makes great fish cake. So, I mean, you can catch a lot of fish here still in New Mexico. There's a lot of good fishing, a lot of trout and things like that. We don't fish nearly as much. We've done some on camera. We're not very good fishermen. I think you're the best in the family. You've caught far more than anyone.
Well, we actually have a little lake.
A little man-made pond.
Yeah, it's a little pond.
New Mexico calls a lake or a pond. Most people is a puddle. Like, well, you saw in the video.
We never caught fish, but me and Mom went fishing, and
you guys caught what was it?
Mom caught
a bluefish.
It was little fish. I don't remember what it was.
Sunfish or something.
It was little fish, but there was a whole bunch. Mom caught like a whole bunch. We caught a whole bunch, but like they kept slipping away. So when we finally got one, we figured out that it wasn't edible.
Yeah, it wasn't one we
after gutting it and putting it it was in the fridge, like gutted, and did everything, and then we finally discovered, oh wait a minute, it's not edible. So then we had to take it out of the fridge.
So we went on quite the rabbit trail from soil to fishing, but I can segue it back. So before we went on our rabbit trail, I was talking about other soil amendments and things we do, and I was just going to talk about real quick a little bit. Fish. One of the big things I do, especially like tomato plants, cucumbers, peppers, things like that, is I dig the hole. Now tomatoes get a trench. We'll talk about that later. But what goes in that hole under those plants when we transplant is sardine and water, not oil. So fish, any fish you have really, or fish parts. Yeah. Oh, they do, and under the plants too. I put fish. I put a little bit of bone meal on the fish. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of fertilizer or other nutrient in there, and then we put crushed eggshells or some calcium goes in there, and coffee grounds, a little bit of coffee grounds on top, and that is particularly for. Before I was doing the coffee grounds to do that and plant in and cover it. And our dogs and neighborhood cats and things would come and they would dig up the plant to get the fish that was not very deep in there. But with coffee grounds, they don't. They leave it alone.
And the coffee grounds don't really.
Yeah, wasn't it? Isn't it the land of 1,000 lakes or something? Land of lakes.
That's a bug.
Land. And people joke call it the land of entrapment. Because you show up in New Mexico and you don't leave, either because of depending on what area you're in, either because of the beauty and the uniqueness of it, or because your tires got stolen. Yeah.
Most of the time,
maybe your tires got stolen and you decided, it's a nice place. We'll stay. Yeah, compost. Do you compost even the coaling? Now, when I looked into it, it looked like there was a different type of composting you're supposed to do for like meats and cheeses and things. Do you just throw those in your normal compost? Yeah, they used to put it under the corn, and it breaks down slowly, and as it decomposes, all those things give a lot of nutrients to the root. Something else we're going to be adding, though, as a soil amendment to just the soil is an aspen wash, a slight one, or a willow bark. And so we'll talk about that at the time. It's also going to be a foliage spray. So we're doing a couple things with our new seeds when they do go outside, either direct sow or transplant. The last 2 years, the pill bugs have wiped out all our seed starts. And so we started them several times outside. So this year, we're going to battle that right away. We're going to battle it using a all-natural, it's Sluggo-Plot. Organic stuff will lay down, help. We're going to put peels out and stuff before the plants, and it starts warming up, so those pill bugs come out, collect them, and kill them. And then also, we're going to be using nematodes in the soil.
We're going to load it in overtime.
To Lucy.
We're about to wrap it up.
We're just about there.
It's
a fish head with each corn kernel you plant. Hey, CDB, welcome. 4 8-foot raised beds to make compost pile. And yeah, they break down, don't they? I'll look at my compost when it's really going, and I got all the stuff in it. And I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be so much soil. We're gonna use the whole yard, and then it cuts down. And a little bit, but you're here. We are just wrapping up, though, so we're gonna be hopping off. We only have about an hour today because I got to get running to work as normal. But watch and replay if you guys are interested. You missed. And for anyone in the replay crowd, just a reminder, the best way you can help our channel is just by being here or our homestead, right? Being subscribers, say subscribe. No, that really helps out. Other than that, we are going to hop off. I have our herbal corner video coming out Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll get some full videos up this week. What do we have next Sunday?
Oh, also, here is a cool fact. The more times that you type something in chat on YouTube, and the more times that you like the video, the more chance of our videos going on into
popping up in your
algorithm.
Yeah,
so
algorithm.
If you just like and comment, then that will.
Yep. The next time we're going to be live is next Sunday. That's in the kitchen with Grafted Branch, and so we'll be doing a cool in the kitchen project, and you'll have to wait to see what that is. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good week. Go out there.
Go out there and do the things. Be
strong. Sorry. Bye. Y'all have a blessed week. Thank you, Verna, for moderating. And really, here we go. And this one, we'll get 3 moderators in here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. We'll see you later.
Bye.